here with the new mayor of
Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs, Nigeria. Also.
Yes, I am. My origins hail from Nigeria. Grew up in Lagos. I actually went to school. Check this out. I went to what's the equivalent of high school? So secondary school in Ajegunle.
Ajegunle.
I did. I went to Hope Bay College, and I'm a proud mayor of Colorado Springs, the 39th largest city in the United States, over 500,000 people.
Yeah, we are here at the U.S. Conference of Mayors.
That is correct.
And you are. This is your first.
This is my first, not first DC visit, but my first U.S. Conference of Mayor engagement.
And you were here when the Vice President spoke.
Yeah, I actually got to meet the Vice President. So before she spoke, I was lucky to be a part of a curated list of about 30 mayors that got invited to meet Vice President Kamala Harris. And in a short interaction, she said, "Hey, I have a couple of family members that are Nigerians." She was proud to let me know that, and said that they've been following my story, and so it was a great meeting.
Okay, yeah. Great. I'm glad you talk about that. You know, as you know, last year she traveled to Africa, traveled to Ghana, Zambia, Tanzania. And the administration is doing a lot in terms of investment in Africa.
Right.
Colorado also is an investment destination. Can you talk about how you're working with the administration on some of your key agendas?
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I'm here at the U.S. Conference of Mayors is to ensure that Colorado Springs is at the table. They say if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So it's important that we're at the table and we're engaging President Biden's administration. So today I talked about engaging with Kamala Harris. Tomorrow I'll be at the White House for 3 different visits. I'm meeting with one of the president's senior aide. That's the first visit, and then we have a new mayor's briefing afterwards. And then the third event is also for mayors. So each one of these engagements are about ability to put our own priorities to the administration's table as a way to advance my own great American city. And so that's in terms of my priorities. I just released a 2024 year action plan or strategic doing framework, like we're calling it, because the emphasis is on getting things done. So not just planning, but doing it. And it's in 5 areas that will help move our community forward. And these are in the areas of public safety, economic vitality, infrastructure, community activation, and housing. Those are the 5 areas of things we're going to do this year.
Let's talk about community activation.
Yes.
Can you expand on how you plan to implement that?
By all means. I would say democracy is best served when people show up and they participate in the decisions that affect their neighborhoods and their community. So community activation is how do we engage the city. The first 4 items, the other 4 items that I mentioned are things that in the realm of government, we get to work on behalf of our residents. We get to deliver. Community activation is what you don't need us. Go ahead. Let's encourage you to get involved. So, efforts around volunteerism and efforts around a citywide. So get ready for this. We are doing a citywide neighboring movement. So I have put out a vision for 1,000 neighborhood block parties across the city. And the reason why that is important, and to us as Africans and West Africans,
I was just about to say that.
I mean, we grew up in that. It takes a village, which is a very African mentality. So the community is part of not just helping to raise each other, but community really. And engaging the community is part of our mental wellness and our spiritual wellness. And so we, as a country in America, we've long deviated from those old school ways of connecting with each other. So we're bringing it back. So we will activate a thousand neighborhood parties, and we will combat
Mental health.
health, illness, and bring wholeness and life back to people's hearts and minds and homes.
The economic mobility is something that's very important, that is key to what you talk about the housing crisis.
Right.
That almost every city is facing
Completely,
right now.
yeah, in the U.S., almost every U.S. city.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's an issue, especially also for immigrants.
Right.
That they are, moving from another country to this country.
Right.
So talk about some of what you're doing to improve the economic mobility.
Absolutely. And so you take all the key issues, housing, homelessness, and you keep adding to it, and you peel it one layer. And when we look at where the solutions, the solutions are in a couple of key areas. One of them I've talked about, mental health, which is a lot of time the root source of some of the crises that we're dealing with in our society. The other one is economic mobility. You provide economic opportunities, and all of a sudden, people can't afford to live in a community. You provide economic opportunity, all of a sudden, you don't have as much crime. And so the key is in mental health and economic mobility. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So two things that we're doing as a city. One is to ensure that we are continuously stimulating the economy to bring in high-paying jobs. Because there's only so much you can do to bring the cost of housing down. But giving people the ability to make more money allows them the cushion and the comfort of living in the more expensive U.S. cities. The second item is workforce development. It's not enough to just provide those jobs. I'm happy to say in our city we are tracking 9 different economic development projects, and many of these pay between $80,000 to $150,000. The key is we're the people to do these jobs. So we need to focus as a city on reskilling, retooling, retraining people from the current reality to the jobs of tomorrow. So we bring this job, but we also have to train people, and so trying to work on convincing Americans and fellow immigrants that you could go back to school, get a cybersecurity certification that takes 1 to 2 years, and you could be making $80,000 almost instantly. So there's work we need to do in that, and how do we get people the training they need to get for this higher paying jobs?
So I guess I'm gonna, like with what you as an immigrant, as a black man,
Right.
The administration has put in a lot of investment. The vice president is here; she will be
Right.
traveling next week regarding promoting freedom.
Right.
The president today is in North Carolina promoting investment in the internet space. And I want to talk about the international aspect of it that affects you.
Okay.
Many of our audience, we see this like, oh my God, Nigeria, my brother is
Yeah.
there. And in Nigeria right now, we have a new president.
Right.
And the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, will be traveling to Nigeria soon. And most likely, the president might be traveling to Africa this year. He was supposed to travel last year. We don't know
Sounds
yet.
like I need to accompany him, help him out.
Yeah. So, how are you bringing the international community? What opportunities do they have? Do you have to offer? Because it's a two-way trade.
Right.
U.S. is investing in Africa,
Right.
but they are also bringing. So how are you working your plan to work with some of the federal agencies,
Right.
The administration, to also bring the international community into your government?
Yeah, I don't believe we have like a set strategy or plan. But one of the greatest opportunities that I have of being Nigerian and being a mayor of a top 50 city in terms of population in the U.S. is representation and the attention it brings to my city. So since I've become mayor, the number of whether it's Nigerians or West Africans or Africans or even immigrants from other countries that have either come to visit my city or come to say, hey, let's meet with the Nigerian mayor. The opportunities and the relationships, the number of people that have actually come to my city or want to move to Colorado Springs, it's increased since I've become mayor. The groups, the immigrant groups, the cultural groups that were dormant in my city have all
risen.
They've all risen. And with that, instantly come some of these international economic opportunities. We've seen a Nigerian supermarket go up in Colorado Springs, and now a restaurant is about to be open. And so I think from a local perspective, I think it's how it's encouraging fellow minorities and immigrants to be able to invest and start a business. And then where that meets is as a White House and on a federal level, as they continue that work of good relationship, we become beneficiaries of the work that we're doing on a local level. The last thing I would say about this is to the president's credit. When I met him 4 days before I was sworn in, his team was great at reaching out, and he came to the Air Force Academy, which is in Colorado Springs. He was a commencement speaker, and his team reached out to me. And when we met, he said, hey, we've been following your story. We've been tracking your story. We're really proud of your version of this American dream. There's a lot that we can learn from what you're doing and the way you united people in this divided political landscape. And he said, if you need anything, you reached out to my office. And he gave us a good 10 minutes where we just really spoke. So leaders like you and me really get to show the best of who we are as Nigerians and Africans, and that, I believe, will naturally open more opportunities.
So it's taking ownership of the African story.
Exactly, and knowing, I was quoted in, I think in one of the, I don't know if it's a Wall Street, one of the publications after I became mayor, after I won the election, and I can't remember which one, but I remember rereading the article and going, oh, that's actually really good. I said, sometimes it takes a new American, because I only became a citizen 6 years ago. Sometimes it takes a new American to move us forward and to remind us of the best of who we are.
Okay,
Yeah.
My last question to you. You talk about restaurants and
Yes.
African food.
Yes.
Your favorite.
Jollof rice, the Nigerian, not the Ghanaian. Ghanaian, I just want to be clear to all my Ghanaian brothers and sisters. Sorry, I'm not even sure why we have this conversation contest. Nothing compares to Nigerian jollof rice. And I love all our food. But to our Ghanaian friends too, I guess you're okay.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you. It's good to meet you.
Thank you.
Good to
Same
meet you.
here.